Rowing is our lives, really. It's what we breathe every early morning regatta while the mist settles upon the cool water. It's the endless weeks of grueling practice only for those few seconds that could separate a silver from a gold. It's pulling up to the starting dock, knowing that your performance at that exact moment will decide how your season progresses on. It's torture, but the glory from winning a race is like nothing else. Unlike some sports, rowing just doesn't depend on how strong you are as an athlete, but how well you can match your form, power, and stroke to others in a small carbon fiber boat, while your competition throws the best people they have to do the same against you for 2,000 meters. Rowers learn to love and hate each other, competing heavily against one another for spots in the best boats until they reach a race day, where they become brothers and sisters. Knowing that my final season on the team likely wouldn't have me qualifying for nationals at regional championships, I searched for a boat that I knew had a chance. Zeke Dingman and Spencer Siefker's lightweight double has a big shot at qualifying, and the rowers themselves have an interesting partnership. These two extremely competitive rowers are currently the fastest lightweights we have on the team, and they know it. Much of their practices are not only spent bettering themselves, attempting to be the fastest they can before the Rowing Midwest Regional Championships, but for beating each other as well. Their journey leading up to the Midwest Championships will be rigorous. As a way to introduce them, my partner Matt Dobrowski and I interviewed the duo about themselves, their goals for Midwest, and their relationship.
I like winning, mostly. That's like the best part. Like all of the practice that gets up to the point that you're like sitting at that race and then you're like, I've got this.
Rowing is badass. I've been rowing all 4 years of high school. This is my last season. My name is Spencer Siefker, and I'm a senior at Saline.
Zeke Dingman and Spencer Siefker are two very dedicated and skilled rowers.
I'm, like 11 seconds faster than him on a 2K right now, and I'm like close to a minute faster than him on a 6K, and we were both really similar weights for both of those pieces, so I feel like by raw power, I'm faster than Spencer.
I'd say that on the water, I'm probably one of the better guys.
Zeke is extremely confident in his own abilities. Spencer knows he's accomplished in the sport, but doesn't have the same attitude towards his skill that Zeke does. Nevertheless, they are a very powerful duo.
The best boat on the team, it's pretty much a dead tie between the lightweight double and the heavyweight double.
Together they make up one of the best boats on the team, yet the two have a complicated relationship. Matt and I asked Spencer who on the team gets on his nerves and who has the biggest ego, and we got the answers we were expecting.
Zeke, because he's faster than me. You can put that one in the video.
Often tense, Spencer and Zeke's relationship is further strained by Zeke's slight advantage. However, rumors have been going around that although Zeke is a great rower, he may be at his peak already.
My history on the team, I've always wanted to pace with somebody and I wanted to beat somebody, and that started out with Ben Christian at first, and I was like, I want to be faster than him, and then I beat him, and then I was like, oh, Brendan, I want to beat Brendan, and then I beat Brendan, then it was Spencer and I've beaten Spencer, and next year I don't have anybody to necessarily race with, so I have been kind of worried that I'm gonna peak out, but
peaking or not, Zeke has to keep pushing because Midwest is coming fast. Midwest is one of the biggest events in the seasons. If you do well enough, you qualify for nationals. We asked them how they are feeling about Midwest and nationals.
I don't go to nationals. I'll probably be a little heartbroken, but it won't be as devastating to me as it probably would have been last year.
The road to nationals starts with Midwest. Spencer is nervous to compete, but excited for the challenge.
Going up against the best of the best. It's very intimidating, and honestly makes me feel a little bit insecure because when I'm there, it's like, wow, these guys are so much better than me.
Spencer and Zeke spend the next few weeks training for Midwest. They have to be at the top of their game for the competition. There's no time to rest. But time flew by faster than they thought, and before we knew it, I adventured with them to the Scholastic Midwest Rowing Championship in Deep, Ohio. Teams from all corners of the region come to compete for entrance to national regattas, requiring a first place in finals to qualify. The lightweight double category is an extremely competitive race, and the boys knew they'd have to win against some of the best to reach their goal. Stress from this realization was heavy, but on the day of their arrival to rig up boats, another matter had more of their attention. Like in their titles, lightweights are required to be light, specifically for men under 150 pounds. Both Zeke and Spencer were on the edge of this class, and although they had never failed a weigh-in before, both boys were terrified that Friday would be the day. They spent much of their week before attempting to lose as much weight as they could through sweat, wearing heavy clothes in hot, humid environments. As they walked up the steep hill to the weigh-in tent with their fellow ladies, a heavy fear seemed to be drifting through the air. They sat and anxiously waited to be called up. First Zeke was weighed and passed, and then the moment of truth came for Spencer. Now certified to compete under lightweight, their next step was tomorrow, semifinals. Saturday morning began with a dew across the water. The sun was out, and the air held a slight chill as the teams arrived at the race site. Zeke and Spencer's race was in the early afternoon, so they spent most of their morning exploring the regatta, socializing to keep themselves calm. As the race was called over the loudspeaker, the deep breaths filled the air as they changed into their uniforms. They walked down the dock and launched onto the water, ready for whatever the competition would bring for them.
There you go, Finn! That's it, Nick! Excellent job! Let's go, Celine!
You?
They won their heat by 500 meters, securing their spot in finals easily. Off the starting flag, Zeke and Spencer pulled ahead almost immediately, soon dropping down their power and stroke rate as to not exert themselves too much for the later race. From the finish line, parents and teammates celebrated the double's incredible triumph and began theorizing for tomorrow's final race. But as the boys got off the water, a sudden weight rested hard on their shoulders as they looked forward 16 hours. When the second heat pulled through, they found out they were first overall by 5 seconds, which is an extremely minimal gap. Nationals rested on that first place, so if they didn't hold their spot for that next race, all their work would be for nothing but a silver or bronze. They spent the remainder of the day resting, attempting to cool themselves off and stay calm for one of the largest moments in their growing career. The muddy second day of Midwest began with a lull. There seemed to be a pause in the air as Zeke and Spencer checked down their boat one last time, waiting for the announcer to call their race. They checked every bolt, assuring themselves that there wouldn't be any external factors for how the race plays out, only themselves. Their double, the Carter, had been with them all season. Being one of the newest boats in the team, its shell was polished, pristine, and built to win water races. The boys knew they could depend on it for one last sprint. As soon as they tightened the last nut, the announcer called the lightweight doubles to start, and Zeke and Spencer launched off the dock for their defining moment. Nationals was in their hands.
Celine, you got it!
There you go! Go, 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 go,
In one of the fastest times in team history, the boys took first place by a mere few seconds, earning their spot in the Scholastic Rowing Association's National Regatta in 2 weeks. The team lined the shore as they finished, cheering the boys as they returned as victors. Gold in Midwest is an incredible title for any high school rower, and Zeke and Spencer accepted it with humble regards. Together, they had exceeded their goals of qualifying for nationals, and they recognized how their partnership had grown closer as a result. Alone, they were nothing but hands in a boat, competing as only average individuals, but together they were the fastest double in the United States Midwest. As the day came to an end and the other boats finished and qualified, they left the regatta together, pointing their bow towards the future.